I'm gonna be honest with you. Eating healthy and staying lean is not as hard as you think it is, and I know I can say that with confidence because I'm already lean, I'm already healthy, and I'm not trying to piss you off, but it takes three things to actually, do so properly without any necessary stress or just overwhelming yourself, man. You know, because if I'm being honest, most people when it comes to getting healthier, you look towards your diet. You never look within. And usually, there's certain things that you're not doing or you're not eating that are holding you back. And I'll give you an example: protein. When it comes to protein, a lot of people are eating more than 100 grams a day. And then they question why am I working out but I'm not seeing changes to my body? It's because there's no protein for your body to recover those muscle groups you just worked. So therefore you're working them, you're cutting down your carbs, you're cutting down your food intake, thinking, oh, I'm just gonna eat less and lose all this weight, but you're also losing the muscle, which is the organ that you need to help you tone up, help you feel strong while losing the fat. But most importantly, so when you do lose the weight, you're able to stay there and maintain it. Most people, the reason why they lose the weight and gain it back is because they lost muscle within the process. And with the loss of muscle mass, gives you that room to where you can easily get back because your body's like, yo, I'm in this mode right now that you've been keeping me in where I need some food. And I'm sorry, we've done this for 4 months, but now we're gonna snap. Now when you snap and you go back to binge eating, you go right back to overeating. So the first thing I'd say is when it comes to eating healthier and being lean and staying that way is make sure you can get protein with every meal. For me, if I'm having waffles and I'm using flapjack flour, bro, like pancake flour, put 2 scoops of protein in there. Put 1 cup of flour, 2 scoops of protein. Boom, now you have a waffle that's 50 grams of protein. And you get protein from the flour. And yes, it's probably gonna be maybe 50 grams, 70 grams of carbs here and there. But now at least the protein is matching. Versus just getting buttermilk pancakes with no protein. Yeah, you feel good, you feel full, but there's nothing to help you grow. There's nothing to help you recover. So if you're working out, you're doing all these things, your protein intake is whack. You ain't gonna see changes. And I'm just being honest with you. If you want to see changes, you have to fix that intake. You have to. You know, it's like, excuse me, it's like if you're having lunch and you want rasta pasta. Bro, put some extra chicken on that bad boy. If you're making lasagna, use some extra ground beef. Increase the protein intake. Increase the protein intake. You will grow more muscle and sustain more over time. And with more muscle, your metabolism will be a lot more effective. Your ability to lose weight will be a lot higher because for me, since I have so much muscle mass, if I just cut down the carb by 50 grams, I'm gonna start losing weight. Because my muscle is always constantly feeding itself. It wants food. It wants to stay going. It wants to keep pushing. It wants to keep I can't even say that word. Sheesh! It wants to keep rejuvenating. I couldn't even say that. But it wants to keep rejuvenating, right? And I need to keep feeding it so therefore it can do so. But when I'm cutting and I want to lose fat for my bodybuilding shows, well, yeah, I cut down on carbs by 50 grams. Not 200 like you guys do, 50. Boom. And that allows me to lose weight slowly and still achieve this goal over time. Now leads me to number 2. You have to know, and I'm talking about if you want to be lean, you want to be shredded for the rest of your life, you have to know what your macros are. And I'm not saying you have to know how to count your calories. That would definitely help. But you have to know what a protein is, what a carb is, and what a fat is, and you have to know that they're not equal. Fats are more caloric dense than they are with protein and carbs. So if you're eating out and they're spraying oil all over that thing, that probably just added 300 calories to your meal. And if you're sitting there just watching that and not knowing like, yo, you're adding more calories to my girl, chill. I'm good with the oil. When you go out and you see food that is greasy, just know that grease itself is an extra 50 to 100 to 200 calories. While you're cooking, instead of going, yeah, put all that soap, put all that in there. Understand that you just put 500 calories worth of oil in your dish. For example, guacamole. one guac, that's a lot of calories if you didn't know. One guac is like 250 calories versus 100 grams of rice, 150 grams of rice, that's 206. You have to know your carbs. If you know your carbs, it'll be a game changer for you. I'm not saying you have to know it like me, like you know how to track, you know your foods, and you know that certain foods are a certain amount of this and that. You don't have to do that. But you have to be able to walk into the restaurant and be like, oh yeah, that's a protein, that's chicken, that's pork, that's beef, oh yeah, that's a veggie. Oh yeah, that's a fat. That's a fat, avocado, olive oil. You have to know these things. If you don't, you're putting yourself in a bad position to where when you do go out, you don't have that flexibility, you don't have that control that you can have to be able to attain, sustain, achieve this goal. You have to know your macros. And here's the thing, it's so easy to learn too. I have so many videos talking about macros, but literally just go on Google, bro. Be like, what's a protein? And just get to know what a protein is. What's a carb? Get to know what a carb is. What's a fat? Get to know what a fat is. And if you do, I promise it will change the game for you. From the bottom of my heart, it will change the game for you. And that leads to number 3. If you want to stay lean, you want to stay jacked, and you want to be shredded all year round, I'm not saying like shredded to the bone, but at least to where like you could flex, you could see that bump in your bicep, you could flex, you see that, that horseshoe in your tricep. You have to learn that consistency is not just showing up. Consistency is getting better in the little things. Meaning going to the gym is not just showing up to the gym. I showed up. I'm about to destroy bench press today. It's not just, I'm going to try to eat healthy. I'm going to meal prep so I can stay a little bit more consistent with this for next week, because I know if I meal prep, it'll make my lunch a lot easier to where all I got to do is heat that bad boy up and I'm good to go. You have to know that consistency is not just for showing up. Staying lean for me is not just being consistent in the gym. It's wanting to get better at the little things in the gym. Staying lean for me is not just eating healthy. It's identifying my patterns and when I start to break them. And you have to consistently be able to do that as well too. It's when you're so good for 2 weeks and you have 2-3 bad days, it's understanding those 2-3 bad days are not the end all be all, and that you could take those 2 days, shut them out, and go right back to being consistent again. You have to be able to do that. You have to consistently identify the mindset that you're in and saying, I know I'm in a shitty mood. I can lead towards ice cream and eat that whole pie right now, but I'm going to go to the gym because I know that will relax me and I'll think less about it, and that's going to allow me to move forward in the direction I want to. Consistency is not just in the gym. It's not just for nutrition. It's within self. And if you're consistent within self, and you're consistent with yourself, bro, you're going to be lean, you're going to be shredded, you're going to be jacked forever. Because you're going to understand that this journey, being lean, it's not just a matter of following this routine, following this program. And yes, I can help you with that. But it's about executing, defining, learning, growing, observing, all through your lens, what you do, your routine, your lifestyle, so therefore you can achieve it and sustain it. That's all I got for you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm about to go back to these bicep curls. That was a long ass rest. Don't get at me for it, alright? Remember, if you ever need some help, got some free things down below for you, free links for YouTube videos, whatever you need. It's there, baby. And the best day ever, fam. Let's go.